Hey guys, what just happened to the Democrats on the world stage isn't just embarrassing, it's humiliating. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen took a little field trip to El Salvador, and what happened next should be framed and hung in the Museum of Political Irrelevance. In this video, I will break down how the Biden-era Democrats just got publicly ghosted, how the Trump team laid a trap and they fell right into it, and why the media's narrative just completely collapsed. But what you'll soon find out is that this isn't about one man. It's about a movement gaining steam. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. Look, if you like our videos, then become a subscriber to the channel. Hit the notification bell, smack the like button, because it does help us get our message out to people we believe need to hear it. So, what happens when a Democrat walks into a foreign country expecting a hero's welcome and instead gets treated like a telemarketer during dinner? You get Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen's international flop, a trip to El Salvador that turned into a cautionary tale in foreign policy irrelevance. Van Hollen wasn't greeted with respect or even basic courtesy. What he experienced wasn't diplomacy at all, guys. It was a welcome to the irrelevance tour. So here he is whining about the Salvadoran government that led him on like a girlfriend looking for an exit, but was too polite to say it's over. Give it a watch.
So told his wife and family that I would try to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia while I was here. So I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCOT. I said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CCOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Oh.
He said he was not able to make that happen. He said he needed a little more time. I asked him if I came back next week, whether I'd be able to see Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Nope.
He said he couldn't promise that either. So I asked him if I could get on the phone, either a video phone or just a phone, and talk to Mr. Abrego Garcia. So I could just ask him how he's doing so I could report back to his family. He said he could not arrange that. He said maybe if the American embassy were to ask, maybe that could happen.
Maybe if he did a teletype or he did some smoke signals or something, maybe they would have agreed to that, you knucklehead.
Now you're begging again. Breaking up shouldn't be this hard. No more fights and no more debate. I'm out of ways to love you.
Guys, the Democrats used to run the show. Now, they're out here performing political theater to an audience of empty chairs, holding sad pressers that no one watches. They're talking into mics like anyone is listening. It's like watching a toddler try to explain quantum physics. Loud, confident, and entirely off base. And then came the trap. As Van Hollen wandered aimlessly through El Salvador, the Trump team dropped a truth bomb that detonated the Democrat narrative in real time. Some of them still don't realize it. Documents from the DOJ confirmed Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the poor misunderstood man who they were all crying over, was actually a ranking MS-13 gang member with the rank of Chiquo, and he was known as Chile. Seriously, you can't make this up. He was arrested in the U.S. with drugs, stacks of cash, and other MS-13 members hanging out with him. And he had a restraining order from his wife over domestic abuse. But sure, let's pretend he's the victim here. And yet the Democrats still want him back for due process. Guys, you really can't make this stuff up. Garcia entered the U.S. illegally in 2011. In 2019, DHS had finally had enough of him and began deportation proceedings. Now, despite being unlawfully in the country, Garcia argued for a bond, claiming he posed no flight risk. His defense, he had been here 8 years, he had relatives with green cards, and his fiancée was pregnant. Now, DHS wasn't buying it, and for good reason. Their evidence, a gang field interview sheet identifying him as MS-13. The court reviewed it and said, yeah, this guy's definitely not someone you want hanging around. He appealed. The Board of Immigration Appeals Court, the appellate court, smacked it down. Still, Democrats are doubling down on stupid. They're defending a gang member caught with drugs and cash like he's some Shakespearean hero who just needed a second chance in life. This isn't compassion, guys. It's insanity. It's stupid insanity. Even if they managed to drag him back here, he'd be deported again faster than you can say bad optics. This wasn't a blunder. It was a trap. And the Democrats walked right into it with their eyes closed and their mouths wide open. And it gets even dumber. CNN and the usual suspects are now spinning like a ceiling fan in August. It's not about one man, they're crying. It's about the process. Sure. Now that the man turned out to be an MS-13 gangbanger, you suddenly care about the process. Yeah, we're all buying that. Well, the process was followed. He was arrested. He went through two courts, one immigration, the other an appellate court, and both courts ruled that Abrego Garcia was in the country illegally and should be deported. There's your due process. Garcia was named by Prince George's County Gang Unit back in 2019. His wife's abuse claims in 2021, documented, photographed, and verified. Even the liberal mythbusters at Snopes had to admit it was true. So what's the Democrats' play now? They're claiming Garcia had protective status back in 2019, which should shield him from deportation. Yeah, because apparently gangbangers with restraining orders make great neighbors. The reality here, guys, that protective status was granted because Garcia claimed he feared retaliation from a rival gang in El Salvador. They were a rival gang to MS-13, the violent gang that Garcia kept insisting he wasn't a member of. Well, I've got news for the Democrats. That gang doesn't even exist anymore. So neither does the threat and neither does their argument. Honest to God, this is getting really ridiculous. James Carville, remember him? He crawled out from political retirement to equate deporting a violent criminal with fascism, of course. Carville is 80 years old. He spent the better part of 2024 election cycle trying to get the Democrats to drop the woke nonsense and become an actual party that cares about their constituents again. Thankfully for us, they didn't listen to him. So to make this argument in defense of an MS-13 gang member, drug dealer, wife abuser, I think the old raging Cajun is losing it. Someone should sit him down in front of a TV, turn on Matlock reruns, and give him a handful of grapes. Hey, maybe he and Dementia Joe can have a play date. Two old warhorse Democrats out to pasture. Take a picture. Folks, this isn't a party with a plan. It's a party in free fall. They've got nothing. They've stopped defending America and started defending chaos. This isn't about justice or fairness. This is about power for them, about control, about counting on you to be too distracted to notice what they're really doing. But here's the thing. You are noticing. We're all noticing. And the Trump movement, it's not just exposing the lies. It's restoring sanity to America. That's the most attractive thing voters will see after the last 4 years of a national one flew over the cuckoo's nest. All right, thank you for watching. Hit that notification bell if you want to be kept up to date with stories the mainstream media hopes you never hear. I'll see you in the next one.
When I tell you, know you, throw a tantrum, you're never satisfied with what you have. Every day's an off day if you don't get your way. Scream more, more, more until you're